CS greetings, CSGOs. I'm Extremes, and we're going to have a little chat today with, BNY from Army Legion Gaming, the captain of the team. You guys may have heard of a little bit of a scandal happening over the weekend with one of the players from the team. Going into that in a bit more detail in a second, but first greetings, Mr. Shane, BNY. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Good on yourself.
Yeah, pretty good. Feeling good for a Monday. You know, one's not supposed to feel good, but
Yeah.
it is as it is. Of course, I know you guys aren't feeling too good right now after the revelations of the weekend.
Yeah, quite heartbroken and shattered. Most of our dreams was to make this tournaments and stuff like that. I mean, me in particular, this was supposed to be my last year of CS, so I could focus further on career and stuff like that. And I wanted to make it a big one, and this was obviously a big thing. And then yeah,
Yeah, well,
unfortunately,
it's a big thing. We've taken the step of blurring your face so that people can't quite find you in the
yeah,
street and beat you. Actually, not. He's just got a bit of a potato webcam, but at least it's a potato with a USB plug on the end. So at least we're getting some picture. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, for you viewers, just a little bit of background there. I think it was on Saturday. Yeah.
yes,
There was an announcement from Metal State saying that Army Legion Gaming were going to be excluded from the land final. In fact, I'll read it to you. Let's quickly just put it up here. I had it up. Yeah, well, she cried. Anyway, um, as per the official rules of the Samsung Galaxy CS:GO Championship, Army Legion Gaming will not be joining teams at the final land comp, and that was at 10:46 a.m. on Saturday. And then they go on to mention that XD is the second team that's taking over the spots. So it was quite vague. And then a couple of hours later, they talk about there being full clarity and they're going to give the information. So I think it was about, just scrolling up here, about 12:50. There we go. Yeah, 12:50 exactly. It was found that Connor Zonc I guess is how you pronounce it,
yeah, no idea.
was using third-party software, which gave him an unfair advantage in game. So, and it says Metal State has a zero tolerance policy towards any team or player that utilizes illegal methods to gain an unfair advantage. And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank both ALG and XD Gaming for handling the situation professionally. And then they go on to say, should any parties have further query. This is Twitter.
Yeah.
It was also on Facebook as well. And I mean, Facebook, it was a much longer initial statement, and there was a lot of sort of people jumping in there asking what was
Mm-hmm.
going on before it was clarified, and they sort of just said, "Hey, contact us directly." So
Yeah.
he was banned for using third party software, and that obviously affected you guys as a team. So I mean, it's put you guys in a difficult situation. I think before we talk a little bit more about it, I think it would be good for the viewers just to get to know you as a person a little bit, just so we can establish that you're not a heartless monster who's conspired to completely destroy the Metal State competition
Yeah. Yeah.
and run away with everybody's money. So, I mean, tell us a bit about yourself. I mean, I gather you come from a COD background.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I've been playing since about 2010. Back then I was in LOA, which eventually became VNR later on. Played COD since 2010. Played almost every rage since then. Qualified in the team. Never really did well, but always made it through the qualifiers and stuff like that. One year I actually made it for Dota as well. So I've had quite a wide variety of stuff. And then last year I decided to invest my time into CS, and I made it to Rage with ALG last year as well. And we had a lot of good accomplishments last year already. I don't know if you know LAN X. We did quite
Mm-hmm.
well there. We ended up coming second to Ecstasy, and we certainly gave Ecstasy a run for their money and stuff like that. So, we were up and coming team. So yeah,
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate that you put in this situation, but I mean, I recall casting you guys in, I think it was the EFTech Champions League last year, where you guys did pretty well in a few of the games as well. I
yes,
think we
yeah,
casted you twice, and I remember Vips actually in your team because he was in a previous team I used to scrim with a couple
yeah.
years ago. So, I think he's also one of your standout players in terms of performance level. I mean,
Yes, no, yes, yeah.
so, I mean, you're saying you guys are one of the up and coming teams. Of course, you qualified for the Metal State LAN. I gather. I mean, things have been going well. You just recently got Zonc in. Yeah, to talk a bit about getting him into the team.
Okay, well, our one player, Get Good or Toxic, he goes by both of those names. He got a second job, and he has a girlfriend and stuff like that. So he decided that it was hard for him to put in the time. So we went on the hunt for a decent player, and I wasn't actually looking for Zonk. I was looking for another player, and I went back to screenshots in the DGL games that they had played to see how well this player had been doing, and I stumbled across Zonk, and I saw in the screenshots he had quite good performances. So I thought, okay, well, let me ask. So I did, and he said he was keen and stuff like that. So we trialed him for a few games, and everything was going well. He was actually a very cool guy.
Which team did he come from?
Elysian. I don't know how do you pronounce it. EG, Elysian Gaming.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
know who they are. Yeah.
yeah. So, so I pulled him from there, and he was actually a very cool guy. You can ask anyone in my team even, and we'll still stick by the fact that he brought a very cool atmosphere to him. He was very friendly and stuff like that, and it brought the whole atmosphere of the team up with him. So everyone. I mean, Vips in particular, as you were mentioning earlier, he was actually on quite a bit of a down strut.
Bit of a
And
slump.
yes, and with Zonk coming in, suddenly Vips was playing like really well again, and obviously that wasn't because Zonk was telling us everything. It was just because the atmosphere in the team had gone from losing quite a few games to now actually winning a few games, and everyone was happy and stuff. So the whole momentum of the team went upwards.
Yeah, the overall attitude, and I mean that affects the team a lot. I mean, if you're feeling sort of if there isn't the harmony in the team, then it really affects
Mm,
the overall performance. If the team's feeling good, then I mean, Counter Strike, I think more than any other game, is one of those games where it really depends on everybody having the right attitude and the right
yes,
mindset
yeah,
and feeling good. It's like one of those games where being angry doesn't actually help you play better.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, like Quake or something like
definitely.
that. If you're angry, you probably play better, but
Yeah.
to a degree, maybe faster reaction times or whatever. But I think let's rewind it a little bit. I was talking about the metal state statement. Talk about the sequence of events on the day, because I mean there was that vague statement, and then they clarified it later, and I mean that led to a lot of negative things coming out in the community, because people
Mm,
were like, "What's going on?" I know you were getting spammed by people trying to ask you what's going on. I
yeah.
saw some of my friends all like, "What's happening?" I mean, I don't think this is any fault of Metal States. It's just how it actually worked out. You can't predict how people are going to react. But
Yes, yeah.
tell us a little bit about what happened on that day. How did you find out about all of this, and what happened?
Yeah, so I was actually at work at the time, and I got a call from our coach Stifler, and he said that there's a bit of cuck here. I need to phone Barry. So I honestly I shrugged it off. I was almost joking. Like I was, no, okay, I'll give him a call now. So I phoned him up, and then he explained the situation to me. He said that they received a few videos that against Zonk that was obviously very incriminating, and Barry was saying most of the Middle State team had watched it, and they just couldn't justify a lot of it, and asked if I will back him. And obviously at that stage I didn't really know him. I had only recruited him about a month ago. The short little bit of research that I did on him, he was playing for a few teams, EG, Reversal. Apparently he had been to an MSSA LAN before and stuff like that. So I thought, no, it's fine. So I gave him a call, um, and basically told him to be honest with me. And he turned around to me and he said that no, he was using the NVIDIA smoke glitch. So I basically told him, okay, well, obviously you're out the team now, whatever. And I hung up, and I phoned Barry back and I said, yes, he was using an NVIDIA smoke glitch. So that was us sort of pulled from the tournament. And then the initial statement to the outer statements, I don't know, was just because I wasn't actually at home at the time, and they wanted our statements to obviously be similar. They didn't want to say something that we weren't going to say, or we were going to say something that they didn't say. So they just wanted it to be matching. That was the reason why the initial one was obviously very vague. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming that later in the day, when you did get home, then kind of you guys came to a bit of a consensus after the initial statement, and that's when you
Yes.
guys
Yeah.
put out your press release. Middle State sort of revised what
Yeah.
they said, and
Well, Tekel actually phoned me and she said, they're getting a lot of pressure, so they're gonna do theirs in the meantime, and she'll do it as best as she can and stuff like that. And then, obviously it was fine. And when I got home, I did ours from ALG as well. So
yeah, I think people just need to understand here. I don't think Middle State had any intention to mislead the community or anything like that. It's
mm,
just a case of a little bit difficult. I mean, people don't understand some. Not everybody sits at work on Facebook. Some of
yeah.
us actually have things to do, so you really can't if you want to get paid,
But
drop
obviously it
everything
was,
and pursue
yeah,
that. So
it was obviously also just to not drag the ALG name through mud, because yes, we did have a hacker, unfortunately, but I mean, we have been around for a long time, so we were also trying to make it that the ALG name doesn't get completely tarnished.
yeah, I think also just worth stating here. Is the fact that this isn't the first time a player in a team has been caught with some kind of hacks. It's not like this is the first time it's happened. Maybe it's in recent memory for guys who've been fans in the last year or something. But I mean, there were guys in 2015 that I recall getting banned. There were a few guys last year as well. I mean, I think DC Academy had a guy banned. There
Yeah.
was the guy from Duke's Esports. There's been a couple others, so this is not a
Mm,
first. I think where people maybe feel a little bit more maybe this feels a little bit more real and raw for them is the fact that there's so much money involved. So it feels like okay, well, they're trying to get some like financial gain out of this, and I don't
yeah.
think as a player, I mean, me talking as a player here, I don't think at any point in any tournament I've ever played in, I ever thought about what the prize actually is. You're always just trying to perform for your team and play for each other
Yeah.
and try to on if you got a jersey, honor the jersey you're wearing, and if you're in the competition, make a good showing of yourselves. And of course, when you get later in a competition, then you start thinking about it. But we're talking about a qualifier for a LAN. It's not like you guys were at the final and then things came up.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it sounds viewers. I apologize if it sounds like I'm being an apologist for these guys, but I. I mean, when I looked at it, I didn't initially go like, "Oh well, fuck those guys." You
Yeah.
can't because you don't know. It's
Mm,
you know the crazy thing with hacks as well is like when you play matchmaking, you go, "Oh, that guy's bullshit. He keeps shooting me in the head, and I like don't even see him." And you know, and then later on, you find out this guy is like it's a dude on a Smurf, and he's like a prim dude that you know or whatever, and there's nothing dodgy about it. And other times, yeah, maybe it is, but anytime you as a player feel outmatched and unable to do anything, then you kind of like either you can say, okay, well, this guy's better than me, or oh, he must be hacking. It's like
mm,
it's something that it's a conclusion people jump to probably too easily. So
yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing was coming out about Sonic. It was coming out about JT and Fady and Flexi and these guys in previous years, where people were looking at top players and saying, "Oh no, these guys are hackers," and then they go to LAN and they
Yes.
prove that they're legitimate. So I mean, you got to give guys the benefit of that. That's how I see it. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely. Yeah.
the guys saw something. I mean, I think this was the other question maybe that guys were going, okay, well, was it like some kind of cheat detection software that picked up on something? And clearly it wasn't. They just saw something in the demos and therefore like came to you guys and said, hey, this is what we're
Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. The most part is he was pre-firing players as they're coming around the walls and stuff like that. There was a few moments where followed followed them through the wall, but not exactly followed, but sort of understanding where the other player is a little too well and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I don't believe that it was only the NVIDIA smoke hack that he was using. I do feel that he was walling. But I personally feel that it was also the pressure of wanting to make it to land, because he wasn't he was never that blatant. And I feel that now with the pressure on, if we beat XD tonight, we're going through to this land. It's a big deal. I feel he maybe went, okay, well then I'm gonna toggle. Because I mean the night before we actually even played Ventus Red, and I mean they beat us. So there was never he was never also top score. Well, he was top scoring, but it was never outright 40 bombing while we're barely getting 10 kills. He was never a carry. So it was
Mm.
hard to see that he was hacking. I mean, you're watching him once every third round, and he knows he's shooting at a guy by the time you spectating him and stuff. It's especially if it was like an aim hack, then yes, you can pick up on it by spectating him. Oh,
Mm.
geez, that was a bit of an insane flick or something like that. But a wall hack or just him sort of understanding where the players are, it's hard to pick up on it, especially considering we're calling it a lot. No, there might be one A long, so he looks A long and poof, the guy's there.
Mm.
It's hard to pick up on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a thing that can come across as game sense as well.
Yes.
Like a guy. I mean, there's players who just have an innate sort of sense of where people are. I mean, you think of any of the best players in the world, they always seem to kind of have a good idea of where the enemy might be coming from, and it's not based on a sound cue or anything. But of
Yes.
course, in any team, it can be based off a call. Like, I mean, those are some of the worst calls sometimes when a guy speculates for you, and you look there and you get shot in the back of the
Yeah.
head from another
From
position. But
from where you were looking two
yeah,
seconds ago.
exactly.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
that happens. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, there's also sometimes it's that okay, I'm like 100% convinced this guy's there, and you look there and he's
Mm.
there. So I mean, I can see playing devil's advocate here, if I may, for the community. That's not something that you're always going to pick up on. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the question that you've maybe already answered here, but maybe we need to just reiterate it. A lot of people will be asking, well, how did you not know? You've kind of said, well, you didn't see him carrying or anything like that. I mean, definitively, there was no clue for you guys. No real sort of red flags at any point.
No, look, I mean, everyone has a dodgy moment in a game. I mean, we've all had a shot through smoke where we kill a guy through smoke and oh okay, well the guy was chilling behind smoke, cool. But nothing like getting 10 smoke kills in one game or anything like that, or just telling us no, there's definitely 3 on A, let's go B. There was none of that. I mean, Wounded, my IGL, he's the one that's calling. He's saying, there's one there, let's go here, let's do this. He was obviously just making a generalized call. Oh, I hear AWP clicking in here or something like that. There was no, he never made it obvious. And yeah, I mean, like I said, spectating him once every third round or whatever like that when you die or something like that, it's very hard to see something like that. And I did not notice anything overly over the top.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. So, I mean, apparently, I've heard several members of the community had previously suspected Zonk of hacking. Did anybody actually come to you and make mention of this to you? Did anybody actually say, like, "Hey, dude, we think this guy's dodgy. You should watch out."
I really wish they had, because obviously if they had, I would have taken things a different way and probably not taken him. But no, no one made a mention to that. Something that was mentioned to me later was that the fact that isn't it strange that he's only got a two-year-old Steam account, which yes is incredibly strange. But I didn't pick up on it. Unfortunately, I didn't do enough research on him. But yeah, no, a lot of people did know him as apparently as a hacker and friends with a few people who have been banned in the community already, and I honestly did not know these things. So no.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess the lesson for anybody here is, do your research.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I do think you bear a little bit of blame here, but I
Mm.
don't think you bear the degree of blame I think some people are showing, shoving your way.
Yeah.
The shit happens. I mean, people make
Yes.
honest mistakes. I mean, you cut a dude off in traffic and he gets upset with you and you go, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that." And
Yeah.
I mean, how does anybody know that that's gonna lead to something
Mm.
down the road? I mean, you made a decision that looked like a good decision for your team. Hey man, I'm
Yeah.
just sorry that shit
Yeah.
happened. That's cuck.
Well, like I was saying, on the hunt for the next Sonic, as I like to put it, you a team of my caliber was never gonna go get a player from Masters to join. Us down here. So a team of my caliber, we have to go now to the nobody teams and look for the good players from the nobody teams and grab them and pull them up. And obviously, not many people know these players and stuff like that. Like if I can make mention to WRG now, they've just taken in John from, I think he was playing for Sevilla now. Now, obviously not calling him a hacker, but the concept's the same. They've gone to a lower tier team and grabbed a player that was performing and put them in his team now. And again, obviously the hopes of it is all of it is to hopefully he's the next Sonic. You know, you've
Mm.
got this player now that's performing really well, and you sort of don't ask why he's performing well. You know, you kind of just maybe he's this good. You know,
Yeah, maybe he's legit, maybe he isn't.
yeah.
I mean, Sonic is a guy that people were like, they want to go and watch him play at LAN, like lean over his shoulder. I think that was it 2014 when people were wanting to do that.
No, I think it was 2015.
Oh yeah, okay, well,
2015, yeah.
hey, I'm old. I just like all the years blend together as I age and I get ever bolder. So, um, you know, but I mean, he was a guy that people sort of said, oh no, he can't be legit, and it's proven that he's one of the best players. But unless a team takes a chance on a young player, then how would we ever know that this guy is or isn't? You
Yeah.
know. So
It
I mean,
it
I
seems to
sympathize.
be, yeah. It seems to be that the younger players are either hacking or they are really good. Like there's no equilibrium at the moment. It seems, you know, you've either got a young player who's performing really well because he just understands the game, or you got the younger players who for some reason are always into the dodgy stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, something I've mentioned in a couple of videos before. Like, I mean, there was that whole ESL new rule whip where they said that after 2 years of a player being banned for cheating, that they can be rehabilitated and can play again in ESL tournaments. And the community lost their mind. It was about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Oh no, fuck hackers, they should be banned forever." And then forgetting that Snacks had an ESL ban,
Mm.
Simple had an ESL ban, and these were for using things that they should not have been using. So, I mean, two of the very best players in the world who, if that attitude had sort of borne forth, we would never have gotten to see Simple in a semi final of a major or in the final of a major. We would never have seen Snacks win a major.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think guys can be rehabilitated. Maybe that's a chat for another time. I mean, when they do these things, you're angry. I understand on your side, you guys must be you must be
Yeah.
fucking furious, man. Like,
Quite. Yeah, obviously the team morale is way down. You know, I mean, we were doing so well and stuff like that. So yeah, we are extremely angry. We've a few of the guys dropped him a message, you know, telling him off, but you know, I didn't bother because I mean, no words can actually describe, you know, what he's done. But the worst part about it is that I genuinely feel he is a very good player, outside of what he's using. So I think it was actually just such a waste, for him to do this for uh, let's say like a 20% benefit.
a slight
Whereas
edge.
without it, yes, for that slight edge, I don't see it being worth it because I genuinely feel he was a good player. You know, like he wasn't using anything aim wise, and his aim was very good and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that's also something people need to take into account. Like if it's like a spin bot or like serious aim lock or whatever, that really helps you. But guys who wall to a degree, they can hide it. It's I mean, unless you're a complete potato, you can hide it. If you know
yeah,
what you're doing as a player, you can get away with it for a long time. And
yeah,
I mean, it's crazy. The other day when matchmaking was broken, I was playing a little bit of very dodgy non prime matchmaking on a Smurf account with some mates, and I mean we encountered these guys who were basically like they were some of the worst players we've ever played against, but then they'll like lose round after round by doing stupid things, and then
mm.
just suddenly they'll all run out of mid on cash and headshot
One tap
everybody.
you, yeah,
And then that'll go on for 5 rounds, and then they'll potato. So it's like you can feel this. Like, hey, it's they switched it on now, they switched it off now, they switched it
mm.
on, and it's just this sort of weird seesaw of like, well, why are we wasting our life doing this? But when you play against a guy who's not quite that blatant, I mean, I recall playing against Mistem in
Mm.
2015, and like he was quite a cocky kid, and then he ended up getting banned for hacking, and he never showed like to me, it never felt like playing against him or playing with him that there was anything crazy going on. You never felt okay. Well, I mean, this is my experience. Other people are going to probably jump in and go, no, no, screw you, Axe. This guy, like, 360 no scope me and, did all the stuff. But it never felt like completely overt. It was just where it got a little bit weird as I recall playing matchmaking and he would say, or Billisoft, and I think it was actually intoxicated at the time. I can't remember. But he would go, like, no, no, guys, rotate, rotate. They're definitely on B. And you're like, go, like, how does he know that? But
Mm.
I mean, in your case, he didn't even say stuff like that.
No, no, he never. Apart from the general calls, there's one running long here when he's chilling next to Long. Obviously, he can hear him or something like that. There was never a generalized thing. I mean, we always just played our own sides, made our calls and stuff like that. So he didn't help the rest of the team in what he was doing. No.
Was he quite a quiet player? Like, did he say a lot when he played, or?
No, not quiet, but not quite. Well, he was sort of quiet about the game, and he made his call, and then you would carry on or whatever like that. But like I said, when he joined, he brought quite a good attitude to the team. So I mean, lately in TeamSpeak, it was always fun and games, always joking around and stuff like that. So the only moments where it actually really got quiet was like a 1v1 situation or something. That's when everyone was told to shush and stuff. But more than that, no, he wasn't quiet. He made his calls and stuff like that about the game, and then he would be talking about something else or something. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I understand you guys are going through what's probably a bit of a difficult time because you just had the incredible high of qualifying for a million rand LAN, and then you kind of get told this is the shit that's
Yeah.
going down. So I understand you
Fake
guys aren't.
news.
Yeah, you guys aren't feeling good. But I mean, what's in the future? You guys carrying on? Are you getting back on the horse, so to speak?
Yeah, definitely. I have approached a few players, not to mention any names, but I've approached a few of them, and
Well, did
hopefully they
Sonic
can.
say no?
Yeah, I think that's the kind of player we do need though. But yeah, they've shown interest and said that they might be keen and stuff like that, looking at a few other offers and stuff like that. So I definitely think if I can grab one of the players that I have asked, I think we'll be right back on our feet, yeah. Because the first day after the announcement was made, we felt very. The players were talking in the WhatsApp group saying, well, we're done. I don't even want to play CS anymore. I'm so done. And slowly but surely it came out that we can't end it like this. We I don't want to be the team that was hacking, that, oh, weren't you in ALG, that hacking team? I didn't want it to be like that. So I want to get a good player and, get back to the top to prove that, Zonc wasn't what defined us as a top team.
I think it's a good attitude. It's healthy to do that, man. So, well, I mean, I wish you guys the best. I hope that you manage to get a good player. You guys continue your run. I mean, I recall, as I said, costing you guys last year, and I saw a fair bit of promise in what you guys were doing in ECL at that stage.
Yeah.
And I think you guys got to continue, man. And I hope the community, watch this and kind of see what's been spoken about here. And I mean, community, I'll talk to you guys. You guys judge what you feel about this. I mean, if you feel that these guys don't deserve the forgiveness of the community, well, then you're a dick. Because that's my opinion. But I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. The only difference is I'm the one with the microphone, and this is my channel. So that's what I think. So you know, guys, sound off in the comments. Say what you want to say, and at the same time, like from my side, I hope that the community will support you guys and help you guys in finding somebody. And I mean, I understand Middle States over for you, but I'm sure DGL is still going. There's other competitions happening. There's ESL qualifiers on Sunday, I think. This is coming Sunday, so yeah, get another guy in. Carry on, dude. Don't give up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening. Thanks out.
Oh, cheers.